Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. What if I told you that silver exploding or crashing isn't all that important? Yes, I just made a video talking about Joe Biden, what he just announced and how explosive that could be for silver, but what if I told you that really doesn't matter? The price of silver going up or down really doesn't matter. See, if we're going to stack silver in hope of then selling it back to fiat, then it's kind of contradicting, isn't it? We stack silver because the dollar is worthless, lost 98% of its purchasing power due to inflation. It's getting worse and is going to collapse. Every single fiat-based system that's ever existed has collapsed. It's designed to collapse. We're trying to get ourselves out of debt by replacing ourselves with more debt, trying to pay off a credit card with another credit card. It doesn't work. So we're transferring fake money into something that is real money. Gold and silver both have been used as money for over 5,000 years. Silver is our most recent. I mean, look at pre-1965 coins. A 50-cent Walking Liberty had 50 cents of silver inside of it. So when I went to the store clerk, handed her that Walking Liberty, that 50 cents to buy a gallon of gas, I was giving her 50 cents worth of actual value because there's 50 cents of silver inside of that coin. Nowadays, our money isn't backed by anything. So since it's not backed by anything, you can see how we're going to need more and more and more dollars to make up. The dollar is getting weaker. So we transfer fake money, money that's depreciating in value, that's depleting, that's just becoming worthless, burning to the ground. We transfer that money into silver because it holds its value. 1 ounce of silver will always be 1 ounce of silver, whether it's 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years, 1 year. The dollar, you can't say the same. So since we're transferring fake money into real money, then why would we then sell the real money and transfer it back to fake money? Kind of contradicting, isn't it? There's a much greater purpose. There's a much deeper seated problem and a much deeper seated reason than to why we stack silver. Look at SHTF preppers, survivalists. They keep silver because one day they think or they know that things are going to collapse, the system is going to collapse, and fiat money will not be relevant. It will not be tangible, tradable anymore. Think about that. Think about the days when you could trade a good for a good, something of value for something of value. You know, silver used to be seen as magical. You know, it could purify water. Back in the day, they thought silver was magic. It was almost as valuable as gold. That stuff never goes away. Think about in 1,000 years, 5,000 years from now, gold and silver both will still be valuable. Think about that. Money is something that cannot be created nor destroyed. Money is something that's interchangeable, but it has to be equal in value. If you're trading something for something else, there has to be value exchange between both of those. Fiat money doesn't have that. And if there is value, it's a promise, and that promise is shrinking and depreciating every single year. See, when I just made that video earlier today, which I highly recommend you check out, Joe Biden announced the extremely high amount of money that he's giving out. And that in return is going to translate into precious metals prices, pushing silver, especially silver, higher. But then I see comments, people saying, well, everyone's saying silver's always going to explode. It's like, no, there's situations that are happening that are definitely going to make silver explode. Silver's not exploding anytime soon. If I'm talking about Joe Biden's plan or what he just announced doing for the not only for the pandemic, not only the relief packages, but also the electric vehicles, the solar panels, that is going to lead silver to skyrocket. I mean, 1 + 1 = 2. But it's not going to happen overnight. I don't want to mislead you guys. There's not anyone who's telling you that silver is going to be $100 tomorrow or even next year or even in 2 years is misleading. I want to be transparent. I don't want to give you guys false hope because then that leads to a resentment and probably will push you away from precious metals, right? A lot of people, even Citibank, Bank of America, even, the Silver Institute even came out predicting extremely high silver prices, probably unrealistic. Citibank said $50 to $100 silver by the end of 2021. Now, given that was during a more severe part of the pandemic, a lot more uncertainty, we kind of have played the tape through a little bit more so we get a better idea. But still, that's an extremely high number to throw out. I definitely think silver could hit $50 by the end of the year, but I don't think it's going to hit 100. And if it did, for some magical way, if it did, it wouldn't stay there. See, silver's a gradually appreciating asset. It's not Bitcoin. It's not going to jump $10,000 in a matter of a week. It's not going to jump 30% in a couple of days. That's just not how silver is. You saw the silver squeeze tried to do something similar, but it failed. And that's because silver goes off fundamentals, supply and demand. How much comes out of the ground, right? How much is produced, how many people want it, or what parts in jewelry, what parts in coins. It's not always so black and white. There's a lot of gray area. So why do you need silver now? Because America's $28 trillion in debt. The US dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power. Not 99%, not 97%. It's been 98%, and it's getting worse, and it's going to collapse. It is. And if you don't believe me, look at third world countries. They don't have money anymore. They use Bitcoin actually for their currency. You ever seen like the Zimbabwe $1 trillion bill? You ever seen those countries where they carry their money in trash bags and they weigh their money on scales at the cash register because their dollar's so deflated? That's where we're headed. It's just going to take us a little longer because we're wealthier, but it's all headed the same way. Every fiat-based system is headed in the same exact direction, which is that. That's why back in the day, you could get a gallon of gas for 50 cents. Now it's what? And in a couple of years from now, it's going to be even crazier. It's going to be 20. We're going to be telling our kids, I remember when I can get a gallon of gas for $7, and they're paying $25, $30, and that's even if it lasts that long. But see, the whole point is that you need to be putting your money into something that has intrinsic value, that has real value, because if not, your money is burning away in your bank account. If you put $50,000, let's say you have $100,000, you put $50,000 in gold and silver, $50,000 in your bank. The money in your bank is literally dwindling, is diminishing. What you can buy with that $50,000 in 10 years from now is not going to be anything near to what you can use that money for today. $50,000 in 10 years is probably going to be around $10,000 today's purchasing power. And that's something you need to think about, because a lot of people trust the banks, they trust the governments, right? But there's more to it than that. If you try to dig even a little bit, scratch the surface a little bit, you'll see that America's not rich. We're not wealthy. There's a serious problem here. There's a serious problem. And a lot of people don't want to admit it or acknowledge it or accept it because they're scared of what that could lead to. But we could try to play hide and seek. We could try to sweep it under the rug. But regardless, if we're not preparing, then we're setting ourselves up for failure. So we need to acknowledge it now and do something about it. And precious metals is the only alternative. And I say alternative because there literally is no solution. What would be the solution? We're way too deep in the hole to get ourselves out. Nothing can fix this. It's unfixable. Nothing is going to be able to fix the problem we're in except for resetting the system. I've read articles before on this channel talking about higher ups trying to already find a new currency or find a new way. I think it's going to be something along the lines of cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is already replacing the dollar in more ways than I can even count. And if you don't believe me, look around, right? PayPal accepts Bitcoin. Amazon is about to. Elon Musk putting $1.5 billion in Bitcoin. You can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin's literally replacing the dollar in front of everyone's eyes, and it's not registering to anybody. I mean, it really is. I don't know if Bitcoin be the new money. I think it'd be something similar, but the banks are going to want to get their hands in still. There's Tether, which is pegged to the US dollar. There's US dollar coin. There's literally a cryptocurrency called USDC, US dollar coin. It's pegged to a dollar. If anything, that's probably going to be the cryptocurrency. I mean, there's also Ripple, which is controlled by a centralized bank. A central bank has a crypto, and it's called Ripple. So if you guys don't think that crypto is a new age, You're going to be sadly mistaken, but it makes sense. It does. It's a global currency with instant transactions, zero to little fees. Much more convenient than any fiat based system nowadays. And I know a lot of you are anti crypto, which is fine. I'm just letting you know the reality. I mean, you can hate crypto all you want, but if you're not going to acknowledge what I'm saying, then that's just straight ignorance. You can hate crypto all you want, but you still have to acknowledge that crypto is coming strong into the world, and it's definitely replacing our money. And that's hands down, whether you want to like crypto, hate Bitcoin, or love Bitcoin, regardless, that's the fact to look around. So we're in a situation right now where there's definitely a change happening. It's going to be very difficult because we've been so imprinted, we've been so interwoven into our fiat system that there's going to be a divided world, almost like Bitcoiners and non-Bitcoiners. I don't see the change happening fast at all. It'd be extremely slow. But regardless, the only thing that really for sure holds value is precious metals. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. Yes, I talk about GSX. It's a crypto backed by physical gold, right? That's why I invest into it, because it's backed by physical gold. Stuff like that is very revolutionary. It's exciting. Bitcoin, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be created. 16 million are already mined. So for a global coin, 21 million is an extremely small number, right? Think about how many people are in the world. 21 million Bitcoin's an extremely small number, especially how popular it's getting. So, that would be something to look into. But gold and silver is the answer, though, right? Other things you can invest into, plant a seed. The profits you can reinvest into precious metals like I do. But regardless, you need silver. My name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, but gold is great too. Both of those are key ingredients to your portfolio for your financial freedom. I mean, Junius Malby said it best. Financial freedom is the end game. That's the whole point. So if you want to protect your wealth, silver is the way to go. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.